Hi guys, and welcome back for another clarinet tutorial from Nottingham Music Excellence. So I'm going to play another piece from the grade 7 book today. I'm going to do a tutorial on Off and Back On by Chris Gumbley. Now this is quite a tricky study, but you know what, after you've played this a few times, it's not as bad as it first appears. Here we go. So make sure with this piece that you put in that really careful groundwork before you start to speed it up. It's one of those pieces that you can just imagine every pupil just playing too fast, too soon. So you really have got to go over the detailing with a fine-tooth comb. Really slow it down and don't be afraid of playing it quite slow and steady for a long time, just so you can really build up that phrasing detail first. Okay, so let's have a look at a few of the phrases and see what we can do here. So it starts off reasonably okay, doesn't it? So okay so far, first clear 8 bars, and then of course you just repeat that again, but up the octave in the upper register. But even in this first little phrase, there's some detail that you can really pick out here. So I think one of the difficulties of this piece is trying to really make the difference clear between those tenuto line notes and the accented notes. So try and sort of lean into those nice bottom G's there. Okay, and then let's have a look at the next idea. So if we go to bar 17, so now we've got a few more details creeping in. We've got the accents and the tenuto lines. I'll just play that again. And then that's repeated again. And then it goes up the octave again. And then let's jump down to 33. So again, we've got the accents and the tenutos. And notice some of the notes are phrased off now. So you've got the... I would do that. It gives you a little bit more time to get down to the lower note. And and then that's repeated again, and then over to bar 41. Notice at that speed I can really put all the detail in there and exaggerate the differences of those different sort of articulations. Of course, as you speed it up and you start to put more sound into it as well, you'll notice the mistakes and the squeaks gradually creeping into the piece. And of course, as you work through the piece, fatigue will set in as well in terms of the breathing. So this is a bit of a breathing test actually. You've got to be really careful. I notice when I've played this, I try and keep the volume down for that first page. So I kind of leave a bit in reserve for that second page to really go for it. And playing the dynamics really does make a massive difference to the difficulty of this piece. I can imagine if I played it all through, you know, just on a piano and didn't bother about the dynamics, it would be a much easier piece because the breathing would be much more manageable. So as you put more speed and sound into it, it progressively gets more and more difficult and you get more and more sort of out of breath, if you like. So just back to that 41 again. So here over the second page, this is our first forte. And then we're back to the original idea again, but it doesn't drop down to MP, it just carries on going through. And then there's a repeat of the other idea again that we heard. Notice I'm finding a way to get those accents and tenutos in there. Let's skip a bit now. Okay, so if we go to 65 on the 4/4 there, now we've got this jumping around the instrument a bit more. So notice you can hear the phrasing detail there quite clearly when I don't play it too quick, but as you speed it up, it becomes more and more difficult to fit that in. So now we get to 73 and we're fortissimo, got a huge sound going on, and we've still got to try and get those tenuto lines and articulation detail in there. Okay, now we've got a bit of octave jumping going on at 81. Now this is quite tricky because if you force that too much going from a G to a G, you're very likely to get a kind of a flat D there. So don't pressure that too much. The other octave jump from the G to the lower G is a fair bit easier. So reasonably okay to play if you've just started from that point, but not so easy when you've been flying through the piece without a break. Okay, let's look at the last bit then. So I think this is quite a tricky little ending. So you've been playing that, you've been getting gradually louder all the way through the piece. And just as you've probably going to die of cardiac arrest, you're going to go down to the piano. So it does say the G is optional there. It's quite nice to get that G in, I think. So personally, I would use the one finger, two fingers on the right hand, and that little finger on there. Or play the D if that's a problem. So just go through that again. So we're starting down from piano. Notice we'll try and get those accents in as well there. love the ending there, it's cool. Okay, so get that up to speed a little bit. So I think this is quite a tricky study. It's not so much, I think the actual notes and the rhythms really aren't that bad actually. I think the most difficult thing about the piece is that you just don't get any time off, and you don't get even a single crotchet rest recovery point in there. At least with the C3 piece, there is a pause note kind of halfway through where you can just sort of prepare yourself for the next section. With this, it's absolutely relentless, so you really have got to pace your breathing carefully. So all in all, I think to summarise, I think this is a pretty cool study to play actually. I think it will suit more of the upper end sort of grade 7 players. I don't think it's an easy one to play, especially if you've played the A and the B piece and and then you're faced with playing that. I think that's quite tricky. So anyway, so I think that's it for this video. Click that like button. Of course, leave a comment in that section below and let me know how you're getting on with grade 7, and maybe consider subscribing to the channel if you want future updates of videos that I upload. But for this one, that's it. Bye.